Hey, what's going on, everybody? Riddle's here back again. This is the Riddle Me This Vlogs. Thank you so much for tuning in for this video. As always, it's greatly appreciated, and I hope everyone had a very, very safe and happy Halloween. I just wanted to come on here and I wanted to give my thoughts and a review on the brand new ICP album, Yum Yum Bedlam, which just dropped on Halloween as of yesterday. So, 17 tracks, 2 guest appearances, which I will get into. Um, First, let me say right out of the gate, I really enjoyed this album. Uh, it is really becoming one of my my favorite albums of the new Joker card deck, which this is the 5th Joker card of the second deck. Um, some may agree with me on that, some may not. It's all just a matter of opinion. Um, but I am really digging this album. The first thing that I want to say the about the album is the album cover, the artwork, the overall look, and the presentation of the Yum Yum flower, and the colors used with the Yum Yum flower. Uh, some of you, again, may agree with me on this. Some of you may have picked up on the same vibe that I did, but I got Riddle box vibes looking at the cover art for the album. Um, even before the album was officially released, and the actual Yum Yum flower, was unveiled as the next Joker card, I was getting Riddle box vibes off of that almost immediately. Speaking of albums like Riddle Box, Ringmaster, Great Malenko, uh, Willoughby Rags does make a couple of appearances here and there throughout the album to give it somewhat of an old school ICP nostalgic feel, and I really like that, and I really appreciate that as well. Um, this album for me is kind of a mix of like Wraith Shangri-La meets a little bit of Jekyll Brothers, Malenko, Riddle Box, even Tunnel of Love, mainly on the intro. I've got Tunnel of Love vibes on the intro. Um, if you haven't heard the album yet, just listen and see what you think. Um, and maybe a little bit of Fearless Fred Fury sprinkled in there, and uh, maybe a little Missing Link found sprinkled out throughout that album as well. Um, just a lot of different feelings and emotions that went into this album. You've got the more darker, sinister, wicked sounding tracks like Wretched, um, Panic Attack, Insomnia, The Drunk in the Attic, Don't Touch That Flower, um, and Ain't No Time. And then you've got these more happy go lucky, more upbeat, positive tracks like Here Comes the Carnival, Carnival of Lights, Bitch I'm Fine, Heart and Soul, that featured Benny Dombrowski from the band Sponge. Who remembers the band Sponge from back in the day? I mean, come on now. Rotting Pinata was a decent album. If you've never heard that album, go and look it up. It's pretty good. And also, speaking of guest appearances on the song "Ain't No Time," which is actually another song that I definitely recommend you go and listen to. Violent J pours his heart and his soul out on that song. It features Roadside Ghost, Um, and I actually looked them up after hearing the album and that song. They have some pretty good stuff. I'm actually digging some Roadside Ghost. Uh, but yeah, then you've got the more like goofy, funny kind of tracks on there, like Clown Drippin' and Slapnut. Which actually, speaking of the song Slapnut, on the digital version of the album, that is the track is called Slapnut. If you get the actual physical copy of the CD, the song is called The Jokesters. So same song. It's just two different two different song titles. I don't really know why they did that. Who knows? It's ICP. They're full of their little secrets and whatnot. But so it just depends on what version you get, the digital or the physical copy. Um, the my computer froze for a second. All right, it's back. Um, yeah, the album was produced by Devereaux, Kuma, Mike P, Shaggy the Airhead 7, and Straight Jacket. Um, Now like I said, I enjoy this album. I love it. The more I listen to it, I fall in love with it. It's not a perfect album by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think there's any such thing as a perfect album at all. Period. No matter who the musician is, the artist, band, whatever. Um, there's a couple little things about this album that I really didn't like, and it kind of takes away from the the listening enjoyment just a little bit for me. Number one, there are several songs throughout this album where at the beginning of the song, they'll have like the audio tag in there that says, like Devereaux um, on on the beat, or Shaggy the Airhead on the beat, and it's really it's just a few songs, but I don't think that was needed in there. Um, like I like Ouija Mac, um, and love the guy, love his music, respect him, and Devereaux works with him heavily. So there's a lot of Ouija's music where you hear Devereaux at the very beginning of a Ouija Mac song, and that's no disrespect to like Devereaux, but he's a phenomenal producer. He's great at what he does. Um, but that just with an ICP album, for some reason it just didn't fit, and it just kind of took away from the enjoyment of listening to the album and those particular songs for me, just a little bit. Um, the second thing, the song on here, "Don't Touch That Flower," which goes more into depth about the Yum Yum flower itself, um, and what what she does, and what she does to draw you in, and what she draws you in, she can finally you're gonna rip you limb from limb, basically, and destroy you. On like most of the Joker cards, you'll have the intro, but then you'll have that second track on there that kind of goes more in depth um, about the Joker card, the character um, that uh, they are pushing out on said album, and that's usually like the second track. They didn't do that with this album, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. Um, it's not a huge issue, but you go from the intro to Here Comes the Carnival, and then it's like track 12 that is Don't Touch That Flower. It just kind of threw me off a little bit. You know, I guess just spoiled Juggalo syndrome or whatever. Just being used to the way that an ICP Joker card album is usually structured, and then they kind of throw that little curveball in there that kind of fucked with me a little bit, but it wasn't that big of a deal. The funniest thing out of this whole album, and it still makes me giggle right now, was the fifth track, Gangsta Code. Oh god. If you haven't heard it, just go listen to it. First off, it's a great track. I love it. It kind of gives me that old school inner city Posse vibe from back in the day, mixed with a little bit of Psychopathic Riders. And I'll tell you why I'm getting Psychopathic Riders vibes off of this. Boondocks is no longer on Psychopathic. He's with Magic Ninja. So they took the Boondocks beat from Abaddon, the song Moving On featuring Jelly Roll, and they used that and rapped over it. And Violent J at the very beginning of the song goes, it was something like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take my beat back. That's my shit." Something like that. I was fucking rolling at that point. That was the funniest thing. Boondocks, I love you. I respect you. I love and respect your music, but that shit was funny. That was fucking gold right there. I love that. But yeah, like this, like I said, this album for me personally, I really enjoyed listening to. Out of those couple little things, that I just nitpicked about. But this album was really a great hour and 15 minutes or so of listening pleasure. It made me smile, it made me laugh, it made me shed some tears. It made me think about a lot of things throughout my life, especially recently. There's a little something for everyone on this album, whether you're an old school juggalo like myself or you're new school, and even if you're old school like me but you still respect and you're digging what ICP is doing now, there's something for you on this album that I'm sure that you will absolutely love. So that's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think about the album? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments, video responses, things like that. So, I'm Riddles. This is the Riddle Me This Vlogs. Peace out. Have a great day, and I will catch you later.